mimosas. Yeah, it's gonna be bubbly kind of time. Join new friends to relax and unwind. The best food with drinks on the side. Cheers to the good times. It's friends and mimosas.
Psychic is more of a story about you and what's going on with the living.
Okay.
And mediumship is what's is the deceased. And
Do you do like tarot cards, read hands?
I
Like,
do.
what
I
is-
do.
that sounds
I
like-
do. I don't have to use cards.
Okay.
At this point, but I do because of people like the pictures. I mean, I love cards. So.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have the pictures. You know.
Gotcha.
Like today, there was a woman in from Philly, and I gave her a reading, and she got the Ten of Cups, which is a card with a rainbow and 10 cups, and a husband and wife and 2 kids. Well, that's her family. So it's nice for her to see that, be like, that's us, you know.
Yeah, right.
And they're usually in alignment somehow like that. So.
Okay.
Well, my question was, if you get to speak to the deceased, do you believe there's a heaven and earth?
I believe that there is a spirit world, you know. I believe that there's like a hub, is what I call it. And that's usually what I go into when I go into a session with somebody. And that's where our soul cluster resides. And our soul cluster consists of blood relations, in-laws, besties, you know, that neighbor you've lived next door to for 20 years, that person that you've stayed connected with since high school. I feel that we all are here with different roles in each other's lives every time, and there's like an outline. And our outline is like our different lessons, our spirit lessons, our experiences, things like that.
Okay.
So you could call it heaven, yeah, totally.
Favorite psychic reading that you've done so far?
Oh my goodness. I think they're all my favorites when there's that connection and you're crying and you're like giving that parent, that spouse, that friend some peace to know that they're okay, because that's where the evidential stuff comes in, where I can give you those pieces. And I mean, those are all my favorites, you know.
How did you know you had this gift?
So my mother always had told me that, like, since I was little, I would talk about things that happened before I got here. And my mom was a reader, and I mean, she was Slavic, so we were very, you know, into all the mysticism and metaphysical things. So I was raised in a household in that nature. I think my mom at tarot parties, because she would do like little, it's like kind of Tupperware for the 80s, but it was tarot parties. So, you know, you get friends together and everyone gets readings.
Yeah.
And I was doing past life readings from like 16 to 18 years old. But I also was, I think, too young to be doing that. Like, I was like wanted to do other things. I was like, yeah, this is cool and everything, but I don't want to make people cry.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, bingo. I have Costco supply of tissue paper, you know. But so yeah, I kind of neglected that. Went to college, you know. I was part of I've always been an artist, so I went to school for that, and I also was like a zine publisher for many years and documented. I lived in San Francisco Bay Area, the music scene and all that, and when I turned 30 is when this really came about, where I could not ignore the gift anymore. I had a lot of friends pass through my 20s, and they would come to my dreams. I would tell them they passed, and they'd be, you know, that was that. Well, this one friend, Tom, died on my birthday, on my 30th birthday, and he continued to come into my dreams for a few weeks, and he started telling me also that I needed to tell Nicole, his girlfriend, to keep the baby. And I was just like, okay, this is getting wacky. So I kind of ignored it for a minute, a couple days, and then finally it happened again, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna go find her. Who cares who thinks I'm crazy? I mean, whatever. So I went and found her through mutual friends, and I was like, I don't know if you think I'm crazy, but you know, Tom has been coming to my dreams. And she's like, oh my god, that's so relieving. I've been wanting him to come to my dreams. And I said, yeah, and the message he keeps giving me for you is to keep the baby. Well, she lost it because about a week before he passed, she had found out she was pregnant, and they hadn't told anybody, and she didn't want to tell anybody about it because, like, she didn't want anyone to force her either way. So that was her confirmation to keep the baby, and now the baby's in their 20s, you know?
Wow.
So the last 20 years, I've been really deep in it. I would count, like, the last 20 years of consciously working on this, mastering it, you know, things like that. So, you know, it's definitely always developing. I'm writing 3 little books that should already be done, but they're getting closer and closer.
Cool.
And they're little chapbooks, so they're more like a little instructional magazine. The first one's on spiritual hygiene. So that's just getting yourself in order no matter what. Not even to be a reader or anything, but just in general. You know, like when we're out in public, people's energy accumulates. And I think of it as almost like bubble gum on the bottom of a table. Like we're sitting here, right? And I might go to pick something up and I'm like, oh, there's all this gum. So that happens with us, you know, just throughout the day with work, being out in public, conversations with people. And that can accumulate. And then sometimes we think that it's ours when it isn't. And so spiritual hygiene is important to know what's yours and what isn't. And then the second one is a ritual as routine. So that coincides with that, where it's like, you know, what kind of things are you doing to honor the ancestors, your spirit, your guides. You know, doesn't matter if you're Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, a witch, whatever, you know, like how are you doing that? How are you practicing? And the third one is taking your third eye to the gym. So these all line up to
develop.
That's developing. So all these things will help you develop those instincts and trusting. Because really the key to all of this is trusting.
Okay.
None of it makes sense to me when I'm giving a session.
When are your books going to be available?
Hopefully soon. I was hoping they'd
You
already
want
be
to tell
done.
everybody where to get them?
Yeah, well, right now I have a Patreon. So if you want to sign up for that, it's like $2 up to $25 a month.
Okay.
And I, you know, the more that you dedicate to that, like if you do $10 to $25 a month, you also get packages from me every season of like handmade goods, like, you know, Florida water sprays, oils, baths, incense, things that I create around the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's full early.
So coopteflon.com, and you can find my website, my Instagram, and also through the Patreon is there. I'm on
It was
Facebook.
the tomato and
All
mozzarella.
of that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Is
my
there anything that sets you apart from other mediums?
well, I'm Coop. Just kidding. You know,
Why would someone come?
the funny thing is like there's not a lot of mediums. Like I was realizing it this summer. I was listening to a lot of podcasts of mediums, and I was like, oh my god, that's exactly how it works for me. That's exactly. I don't have a lot of people to talk to about like just your, you know, shop talk, and that's when I realized I was like, oh yeah, that's the title, is the evidential medium, because I'm doing this exactly like, you know, Arthur Finley students that have graduated. That's an English school for psychics and mediums, and yeah. What sets me apart? I feel like I have a lot of integrity. Like I'm not going to make anything up. I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing and feeling, and if it connects, it connects. If it doesn't connect right away, like I do trust at this point in my life, like I've done thousands of readings, that, you know, I'm confident that it's connected in some way.
Eventually.
Because when I first started doing that, because I write everything down when you come into session with me, you know, somebody said, oh no, that doesn't make any sense. I'd always go, oh, okay, never mind, and I keep going, right? Or I would try to figure it out, and I realized, you know, just let it flow, let it go. Because sometimes, usually if something doesn't make sense, by the end of the reading, they're like, oh my god, my mom's name was Joe. They just totally call her mom. And, you know, it's just funny. Or a couple weeks later, they'll call me and be like, you know what, that was like my aunt that I didn't know, my mom's sister. And, you know, that was her name. That was the things she did. Those are the things she collected. And so that's really affirming, too, because it's not anything you're thinking about. Some people will think, oh, you're reading our minds because you're able to do that. So when I do get like the evidential stuff, it's like I want to know, like I'm going to be giving like middle name, things maybe you wouldn't normally use, things that like I've had families come into my office because I have a facilitator that books all my appointments, so I don't know anything until I get in there that your name's Jan and your name's Carrie or whatever. We'll pay attention to when I start doodling. It's always somehow connected. Even just last week I was doodling.
What are you drawing? Or
I'm writing whatever's coming through. So normally, like when we open up with a medium session, I let you know like how I receive the messages, what to expect. So I'll just do that right now. So yeah, so the way I get the messages is it's like I'm remembering a dream. And so, and I'm playing charades with the other side. So ideally what we're doing is putting a puzzle together for you, and those puzzle pieces can be anything that is connected with them, right? So that can be foods, music, hobbies, places they worked and lived. I will get physical pings connected with them. That can be anything from like a bad knee, a scar, a tattoo, or how they passed. And then I'll get letters, and generally the letters are connected with them.
Okay.
And I'll repeat first name, last name, nickname, middle name, and I always let everyone know, not in the middle of the name, not the last letter of the name. Like, I'm not loosey-goosey like that. So it's the first letter.
Okay.
And a lot of times I do get the full name. Like I'll be like, who's James or whatever.
Yeah.
But I always am very confident with that first letter. And so numbers will come up, what can be relatable to like birth date, passing date, anniversary. If 22 comes up, it can mean, okay, 2022, things.
Blessing?
I do feel it's a blessing. I feel so blessed. I leave sometimes and I'm crying for joy. I feel my own crying. I'll be like, and it happens every day at work, so
Come on, work.
thank you.
Yes. What's your inspiration?
I'm gonna have another meatball. I
yeah,
think it's the
I'm
tamale
finished.
one.
I'll take
I'm
whatever.
getting full, but I'm still gonna eat this.
I've been a doll maker for over 20 years.
Wow.
So I do a lot of portrait dolls. I also will do like historical. I'll dive into a historical time or story and make dolls around the story, the characters. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know where this story came from, but afterwards I'll look things up. I mean, my prime example right now is my throws for tonight. During October, I was doing some devotional work, and I got like, I need to make these 6 golden hags. I'm really into hags for the fact that so many people are scared of women when we age. And I had a fire for the Day of the Dead, and I had about 25 people, and it was all about embracing the great-grandmothers. So many people don't know their great-grandmother's names. So this is some of the work I offer. So all of these friends and people from community came over. We had a fire and dinner, and I had somebody play music. So like they would play music, and then 2 or 3 people would tell a story about their great-grandmother. And if they didn't know their great-grandmother, like I didn't, you can tell a story about your grandmother, right? Because when we tell their stories, it keeps them alive, right? So what I observed was like, most people were like, oh yeah, but my grandma was really bitter. She was mean. She was this or that. And I feel what happens is, as women, we can only take so much, and we get to a point where we're like, I'm going to move out to the country, to the swamp, to the woods. I'm going to go isolate so I don't have to worry about all the drama. And I think a lot of older women have that pain they carry, and that's how they process it, right? And then any of us that get old is over 25, then, we're washed up, right? And so I try to rearrange that thought pattern with that, where I'm like, the hag is the empowered woman. She's like, I'm gonna have my plans. And I'm like, so anyways, I got this vision of golden hags, and so I made, just out of clay, like these 7, and there were 7 sisters. This week when I finished them up, and I was going to write a story for each one that goes in the box when you get your throw, I was like, I should just look up, like, what is a golden hag? Is there a folklore? Because I love folklore. I love fairy tales. Oh, sure as heck there was.
Really?
It's a European thing that a lot of the, like, shaman men and druids would carry a golden hag with them as a talisman for good luck.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's the 7 sisters with Zeus and all that, of course, Greek mythology, right? But yeah, so things like that will happen too with my art, where like I'll be like thinking I'm making something up, and then I'll look at it and I'm like, it exists already. And that's really cool, because I feel that's me connecting with spirit, with the ancestors. That's where my ancestors are from, is like Germany, and all that. Like, that's the area
What
where.
about your dolls? What about your paintings?
So my paintings, I feel, are little stories that I'm told from like spirits and things like that I'll paint.
Where do people get your artwork?
From CoopTeflon.com.
Okay.
And I have an Etsy.
Oh, cool. And on your Etsy, it's Coop. They just
Coop Teflon, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again.
Anything else you want to plug before we finish?
Just check out my Patreon. It's a good place to be for like seeing what I do, and to incorporate some of it into your own practice. Be it, like I said, you could be Christian, Catholic, Jewish, pagan. I really love a lot of earth-based things. I love Greek mythology. So those are a lot of things that I'm really called to share.
Okay.
But really, my main goal is to get everyone connected with their ancestors and whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Patreon, you can get gifts from me, like art gifts and things like that. That is
cool.
part
That
of
is
the
awesome.
membership.
And how much is the membership?
Anywhere, I mean, you can do $2, and then
Okay.
you get to read everything.
Oh,
But $10 or more a month, and then you get seasonal gifts from me.
that's
So
cool.
every like
really
6 to 8
awesome.
weeks or so.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
her up. Okay, it's would you rather. Okay. Would you rather share a bed with a walrus or an
Okay.
eel?
A walrus.
Definitely a walrus.
Yes.
Kane's 6'5". I feel like I
I
do that.
need something to hug, right?
Yes.
An eel.
No, I
would
just
you
feel-
rather
I mean-
not be able to taste or not be able to see color?
Wow. I would say taste.
Really? Okay.
Because I already know what some things taste like, so I could use my imagination.
Should
But
rather
color, I mean,
not.
obviously I love
They didn't say you couldn't smell either, and a lot of your taste comes from your
I know.
smell. So I mean, at least
But
I'd be able to
it's-
smell it.
Oh. That's true, Sophie.
And you already asked us, we can't go back.
So I'm gonna go with taste, because I had this thought the other day. That's kind of wild. That I was like, I don't know what I would do if I was like blind or anything. Just because like I truly enjoy seeing things. Like I just
Yeah.
think the world is beautiful, and I think I would just rather. I've tasted a lot of good things in my life. I think I'd be okay. Just
So you'd rather not have taste?
yeah. I feel like I had a lot of allergies in my life. I don't taste things sometimes.
You know, have you ever had COVID and not be able to taste? That was miserable.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I've had things where I can't taste.
I don't know if I could choose.
That's a hard one.
Because COVID, I had it for like a week and I couldn't taste. I was miserable.
It's bizarre.
You would do color?
Yeah, I think I would.
Wild.
You know, they have those special glasses now you can buy.
Oh, okay.
That you, if
That's-
you're
that's cheating.
colorblind,
That's
you
cheating.
can put on and
Nope,
you can see.
that's cheating. Nope, you are not seeing any color.
Would you rather have the ability to change the past or see into the future?
Wow. I would change some things about my past.
Yeah.
I don't have regrets really, but yeah.
I feel like I don't know.
You definitely don't want to see the future. You're
Yeah,
very scared.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
true.
I'd freak out knowing about the future, but at the same time, I really don't have anything about the past that would change.
But there's things you can visit where, like, maybe your grandmother passed, and there's things you could have asked her, or had a different relationship with somebody that
Yeah.
passed.
You know
That's
what?
my
1,000%. Yeah. No, I'll
Would
choose.
you rather have an intelligent partner or a good-looking partner?
Intelligent. I cannot handle somebody with no brain.
I was about to say you ain't got no
I was
common
single in
sense.
my early 40s, and there would be the cutest cutie pies, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband's both, so it's good.
Right,
You wanna
right.
do-
But, you know.
Try a quick read.
Let's see what
here?
happens.
Okay.
Okay.
No pressure. And take 3 deep breaths and get grounded and open our heart so we can connect. And any loved ones that have messages for you. And we can open our eyes. Yeah, did you have somebody pass with that smoked or had like respiratory stuff going on in their throat? Don't tell me any names or anything, but and then I'm getting the letter P. Who's that?
My dad.
And what was his name?
Pete.
P.
But it wasn't.
No, but there was just like it happened right before.
Oh.
But then I pay attention to everything once I'm in, and I'm like, oh, I'm still feeling a burn. It almost is like acid reflux or something.
But we don't know what happened to him.
Okay, so hold on. Did he grow his own vegetables or something? Okay. I started seeing somebody pull corn, and I was like, is it just because I mentioned the green corn ceremony, but it's not. Like, I trust this container. What did he do?
He always had a garden.
And what's the 21? Is that a date? Is that a year? Is that like birthday, passing date, anniversary date, 2021?
Oh, did he pass in 21?
And don't tell me anything else.
Oh, it was 20.
2019.
Oh,
And what's the 8?
the 8th?
Which could be a date or August or...
His birthday is August.
August.
Okay.
Yeah. When you said 21, I didn't know if can you like if you're doing this, can like me being here like interrupt things or
I
like,
wouldn't call it interrupting.
Okay.
I would just say like you are part of a soul cluster,
Mhm.
so things could come up.
Got it. Yeah.
Because what would the 21 mean for you?
I have a lot of 20. My birthday is the 21st.
Oh, well, that's
My
what that
fian-
is then. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, my
I didn't know
fiance's
That's
birthday
why I'm
is the
saying
21st.
birthday, passing date.
Oh,
and
That's
everything.
why. That's why I was
I
asking.
figured you were reading me. I didn't know.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask the question
Yeah.
if
Okay.
something could be.
Oh yeah, you're
correlated.
sitting next to each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you have something of your dad's with you? What is it? Let me see.
your
Hold on.
hand.
The ring. Okay. Yeah, he wanted to confirm that with you. Yeah. Kind of what a session looks like. Yeah.
Yes. We usually end with 3 wishes.
All right.
What if a genie came today and gave you 3 wishes? What would they be?
Ceasefire. I feel my second wish would be for humans to be compassionate with what is not like them. And let's see, I'm gonna cry. My third wish is that I get to see my children grow old.
Oh, yes, that's a good one. Yeah.
That one makes me cry.
Wow.
Cheers to
Cheers
that.
to that.
Yes.
We hope you get your
And you
wish.
know, a
I'm
little
not there
booze is
yet.
good for your blood. It is.
It is.
Well, cheers to new friends.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much. This was so
So
cool.
fun. I love talking about all this stuff. So I love what I do. So, you know, I'm excited to talk about
Yeah.
You can tell you do. Like you,
Yeah.
it really pulls through, and you can tell when someone's passionate about
it.
something.
Right.
Friends and mimosas, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like,